Welcome to Hawaii Day 3, Volcano National Park.
Also known as Natalie's Bucket List Day.
Yes.
This was a big deal for me. This was life-changing. We went to Volcano National Park, which was the #1 national park I have always wanted to go to. It was absolutely incredible. I am very excited to see this footage, much like all of the other Hawaii videos. I haven't yet, so I'm very excited to relive this and watch it with you guys. They have an awesome little welcome area where you can learn about the volcanoes and get some merchandise or, souvenirs or something like that if you want to have that. But we didn't really spend a whole lot of time in there. There is a movie that they play as well, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, look at that landscape. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a lookout area that's right there at the hotel that they have at Volcano National Park, which fun little excursion that you can do if you're anything like we are. They have a wine sampling and charcuterie board thing that you can pay for and do, which we didn't get the chance to do that. So in the future, I'm hopeful that we do, but I thought that was a pretty cool little thing that you could do. We really went into Jumanji to get
that's what it felt like, right?
Volcano National Park. Yeah, I went full Tomb Raider with my outfit. I was ready to go. Brand new Columbia hiking shoes that I did break in beforehand. But yeah, the landscape here was incredible. You're basically walking through the jungle, and then out of nowhere, from what I remember, you're just on the volcano.
Yeah.
Which
the video was very long to begin with. I edited this down from like an hour and a half because it is a lot of walking and a lot of beautiful landscaping. I wanted to leave as much in there as possible, but I also didn't want to bore you with an hour and a half long video. We're also doing this hike with our two friends from work, Maddie and Dustin. So
yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Photobombing this video.
Yeah.
They've been asking us to put this out for a little while here. We just moved, so
sorry it took so long, guys,
to get it out. But as you can see, the landscaping
is incredible. Breathtaking. Not nearly as buggy as I expected it to be. It was pretty humid that day when we were there, so I was expecting to see a lot of mosquitoes and stuff like that, but we didn't have that problem, which I thought was really nice. Very surprising, especially for a tropical area. But yeah, it was utterly incredible. I think we did a 6-mile hike that day.
Yeah, this hike will sneak up on you, though, because the beginning of this hike, you're walking down into the crater.
Yes.
So it's very simple. You're on these little paths, and it seems like it's pretty easy. But as you'll see, when you come out of the crater, you definitely should be in somewhat shape. I'm not saying not like we're physically fit, but there's Maddie and Dustin. We're not like the best in shape people, but I would say you are gonna get your heart rate up coming up this crater.
You really do when you're
and you're at elevation.
Yes, which makes it even more difficult to breathe. So that's one thing that you should be aware of. Just make sure that you prepare yourself accordingly. I know we were doing incline walking for a while in order to prepare for this because, like I said, it was a very big deal for me to be able to do it, and I'm very proud to say that I did it, and I hiked the 6-mile hike and didn't have any issues, and the dogs are going nuts in the background. I'm sorry, they're playing. But here's the crater. This is the volcano that erupted in 1985, I think it was, somewhere in the 1980s. There we go. There's the crater name. Popped away before I could read it to you guys. But utterly incredible. You touch the ground, it's still warm, which is so cool to me. I know he was kind of iffy about it and a lot of people in our families were like, well, how do you know if it's not gonna just like kaboom? But they have people monitoring it. There's, if you know anything about volcanoes, there's eruptions and things like that happen far down under the ground, like little earthquakes. So that's how you can gauge it to know. So it was safe. They would let you know if it wasn't safe.
I'm just happy we decided to film this as a reaction video, and this is one take. It's not going to be taken again. I thought it was funny that we decided to do that.
Yeah, I absolutely loved getting to walk on the
It
crater.
it's incredible how large it is.
It
And
was.
pretty intimidating, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, so this is the whole crater?
If
Oh,
this
man.
erupts, like everybody is going, it was,
'Cause
yeah,
it's pretty
it's
far.
very far, very
You
far.
can see all the way in the background. That's the crater.
Yeah, the where that mountain range is,
Yeah, it's big.
that's the edge of the crater. It's gigantic, and to get to walk across it, so cool. I thought it was super neat that there are trees and foliage that is starting to regrow out of the crater. Not really something that I expected to see, just because it did just erupt in, the 1980s or so. So that's not really something that I would have expected from a volcanic area, but I do know the soil is full of nutrients, and that's bound to happen. I was just very impressed at how much there was growing. Once we make it over the crater, that's when the real portion of the hike starts. You are essentially scaling the side of
Right. And
crater,
so just so you know,
basically.
you can bypass this entire hike.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're walking a trail that leads to the lava tubes for this volcano. And there's a parking lot, as you'll see at the very end of that.
Yeah.
You could just drive there and walk through the lava tubes and go to a lookout, which you're going to see in this video, a lookout for this crater as well. And you can kind of see that from the hotel as well. You can see the
You can.
you're not standing on it.
No, it's not the same.
I mean, unless you're physically unable to do this hike, I would recommend that you do this.
Yeah.
Just take time out of your day to do the hike. Just know that you can take your time here a little bit.
Yeah.
After this, we were hiking with two college athletes, so they were in a little bit better shape than we were, for sure.
But, just take your time. There are places where you can stop if you need to. Once you make it up the mountain, there is a place for you to sit down because there's a lookout. You can definitely relax there for a minute, catch your breath. But overall, to be honest, the length of the hike is what, in my opinion, I thought was the most difficult. And then, of course, the elevation. But I feel like in total, in the hikes that we have done, we've gone on more difficult hikes, or at least I've had more difficult hikes than this one. So it was like an intermediate hike. It wasn't that bad. It was just the length. And then this part right here, you do go up in elevation rather drastically. So just make sure that, you're stopping if you're getting lightheaded or you're getting winded. Stop to catch your breath. Don't just keep pushing, because as you can see, right next to you is a drop.
Yeah, so if you're afraid of heights, maybe not the hike for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd want to go to the crater and then turn back around and walk back up the way that we came down.
Yeah.
That was more of a path that you would have to be.
Yeah.
And you could just walk back the way you come down.
You could.
If you didn't want to go this way.
Yeah.
Scale up the side of a cliff like a mountain goat.
It was fun. I had fun.
It's definitely worth it to get down to the lava tubes, though. That's super cool, as you'll see.
It's very cool. And I think it's super worth it just for the visual. It's a breathtaking view. Mm-hmm. It was really, really cool. Popping back on, at the end of this staircase is the parking lot for the lava fields, and then there's like a little pathway that you can take that gets you to the lava tubes.
Signage is pretty easy to follow.
Yeah, it is pretty easy to follow.
And then yeah, to get to the lava tubes, you're gonna see literally the entire walk there. It's
Very
400 yards. It's
Yeah,
too far.
and it's
so the other side of this parking lot.
just a very, very easy walk.
Yeah, so if you don't want to do the hike, you could just drive and you could just do this. You can still see a lot of the vegetation and a lot of the. This is obviously a lot more safe, and it has like the handrails along the side, which you're not going to have with the volcano hike, right? Obviously, they're not going to install railing on the side of a volcano that's going to erupt every 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But these are like a dead lava tube that I would assume when the volcano erupts isn't damaged, or I have no idea.
They're underground.
Well, this isn't underground. We walked through it.
Well, we walked through it, but I mean, it was underground at one point. That's how lava tubes work. But yeah, we'll let you guys keep watching, and we'll come back once we're in the lava tubes.
Yep.
So we're coming up on the entrance to the lava tubes. One thing that you guys should be aware of, it's very, very dark. They do have torches to light inside of the lava tube to light your path, but it is still pretty dark. It's also going to be very slippery. The floor is wet, so just keep an eye out on your footing. Make sure that you're taking careful steps so you don't slip and fall by accident. But it was very incredible to get to walk through. It's absolutely stunning inside. Does get kind of loud just because it's very reflective in terms of the audio
there's
from
a lot of
everybody
people.
else. Yeah, there are a lot of people, but as you can see, it's really cool. Be careful.
Sorry, the camera couldn't handle it.
It's so dark. Yeah. Do be careful. Try not to rub up against the walls or anything, just because they are rather rough. They're not smoothed out very well. So if you're not wearing long sleeves or something, you could, potentially hurt yourself. But for the most part, it's just an overall really cool experience. I highly recommend doing it. Even if you're not into hiking, again, it's a super easy thing to get to. You can park your car at the parking lot. The walk from the parking lot to the lava tubes was maybe 10 minutes at the most. And you get to walk through a lava tube. And
if you want to know how long this is for context, I'd probably say, like, you'd be walking through it for like 3-4 minutes. It's not as long as you think. Probably like 200-300 yards.
Yeah. Long. And then you get to say, I got to walk through a lava tube, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty well as far as like there's no caverns that go off to the side or anything. You're just going in a straight line, and then when you get to the end, you'll see there's a staircase and a trail that goes right back to that parking lot. We obviously had to hike all the way back to the car, so
Yes.
benefit to driving there would be that you can park a car there. I would say if you bring two people, what would be the smartest thing to do if you both have cars would be have both drive to this parking lot, park a car there, and then everybody get in one car and drive back to the start of the hike, do the whole hike, and then you could get in a car instead of having to hike all the way back, because we had to hike everything you already watched. We had to do that all the way back.
Yeah.
To get back on into the car.
Yeah,
So,
well, we didn't have to hike back over the crater.
we didn't go back through the crater.
We went around the crater, but
Yeah,
it
there's
was
a separate
still,
path.
Yeah, it was still a pretty long hike back. With this staircase, do be careful. A lot of people were slipping and falling on it, just because your shoes got wet. And I'm pretty sure the staircase was also wet, so just keep an eye out. They do have signs. There is a railing, so it's not like, you're gonna fall and
Just in
seriously
general, like,
hurt yourself.
I understand you're in
Careful.
Hawaii. Don't wear flip-flops this day. This
Yeah.
is not a flip-flop day.
No.
Okay? You're not going to the beach.
No.
Right? You wear shoes.
Well, we ended up going to the beach this day, but we'll get
Yeah.
to that in a minute.
Bring flip-flops, leave in the car.
Yeah, here you go. We decided to leave and go up to the other volcano, the other crater that is at Volcano National Park. I'm not sure if we get it. Oh, there's Tom.
Yeah, he didn't come with us.
He
that
didn't come
day.
with us that day. There are steam vents that were active while we were there. I don't know if they're always active. I'm not sure if we got them on camera or not, but that is something that's where all those cars were parked. It's a lookout so you can see the steam vents. But we got to go see the other volcano that just recently erupted in, I believe it was 2018. It is still very active. It was smoking, and you'll get to see footage of that from when we get to the lookout. Really cool, really neat to see. They do have you pretty far back. Obviously it's very active. It's not dormant like the other crater, so you can't go and stand on it, as you can see, very far away.
Yeah.
But still equally as incredible as the other crater. Landscape, absolutely breathtaking. So neat just to see all of that.
If you're going to Hawaii, and not specifically the island of Hawaii, but if you're going to Hawaii, even if you're not going to be on the island of Hawaii, you should definitely at least take one day to get on a hopper plane and go to Volcano National Park. I don't think you should go to Hawaii without going here if it's your first time there.
Just go explore. There's so many different things that you can do, so many different hikes that you can do. If you're not into hiking, it's totally fine to just drive from place to place. You can rent a car very easily at the airport if you do take a hopper plane in. And you can drive to the lava tubes, you can drive to that crater, you can drive to the lookouts and get to see what Volcano National Park has to offer. Part 2 of the day was the
really trying to cram this in before we had to get back on the ship.
The second biggest thing on my bucket list. I don't remember the name of the beach. I'm sure Logan in his research found the name and put it up here. But we went to a black sand beach, which was huge for me. This place was amazing. Absolutely incredible. They do have like a whole bunch of different huts and stuff that you can go kind of wander around through. Make sure that you're wearing your shoes and you're not barefoot like I was, because I was in hiking boots.
The beach is called Black Sand Beach.
Oh, okay. I was in hiking boots, so I just took my shoes off, took my socks off in the car, left them in the car, and basically like beelined it to the beach. I was so excited. Absolutely breathtaking. The sand, when it's wet, it looks like...
And it's not sand.
It's not, but it looks like it's little crystals because it's so reflective and sparkly. It was very, very hot. So please,
yes, the sand is super hot. As you can imagine, right? Like, think of like in the summertime when you walk on blacktop.
Yes.
Like if you're at the beach and you...
Exactly.
Or you're in like, you go to the swimming pool and you would walk across the parking lot barefoot.
Yes.
It's like that. Like this sand's super hot because it's conducting the heat.
Yes.
Right.
So please be very, very careful. Don't walk what I did.
Dogs or animals.
No, and don't do what I did and walk barefoot. You could burn your feet, and that just wouldn't be fun. But
I just wore my shoes.
I'm the idiot that loves the beach and just said, I don't care, I'm in Hawaii, and went for it.
Also, if you're trying to catch a sighting of a sea turtle, This is a great place to go.
Great place to go. They absolutely love it here. Probably because the sand gets so warm, I would assume. They did have an area for the turtles that was roped off. There were lifeguards and stuff. As you can see, they set up cones. They set up a perimeter around the turtles that's 10 feet.
They're serious. There was a lady that walked along the water there, and people were yelling at her.
She got very
yeah. They're like, "What are you doing?" And they made her come back and walk around. So
yeah,
don't even 10 foot in.
Don't even
water.
try.
I'm saying they're serious.
Yeah, so. It's a very serious thing. They're very protective.
It was that woman right there.
They're very protective of the wildlife. So just make sure that you're being respectful and make sure that, you know, you're keeping an eye out while you're out in the water. But this is the little like area that they have sectioned off with rocks for the turtles. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of turtles.
I feel like you could come here any day and you would see turtles for sure.
There were a bunch of turtles out in the water, just, you know, surfing the waves, and then they would come up onto the beach.
That was pretty much Hawaii Day 1. The next one's going to be Hawaii Day 2, so we'll see you for Hawaii Day 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be linked in the description.
Bye!
See ya!